why did you say you didn't do it? We didn't. Yes, you did. You're a pair of filthy liars. Well, these two lads went nuts. They started chucking chairs around. Steve, the security guy, comes on. They stopped filming, right? And the producer says, well, how do you account for that? I said, they've not done it, trust me.
So you mentioned the polygraph test there and how you think essentially it's a load of shit.
Yeah.
For what reasons is it?
Yeah. I turned down a well-paid job on a certain well-known talk show on ITV some years ago.
Right.
Which obviously polygraph featured heavily.
Yeah.
Right, are you with me?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right.
Did you not get that before that?
Sorry, no, I'm an idiot.
I went up to Manchester and was shown loads of footage and said, can you interpret this? What do you think, Dylan? Jumped through all these hoops and they went, yeah, that's great. We're looking to shake the format. And the idea was that rather than the host just opening the envelope and giving the lie detection result, they were going to build a part of the set for me and let me analyse the people on stage. I would give my 2 penn'orth, and then they would see if the results matched what I said. So I was in the gallery because I did quite a few observation days. And the 2 guys that have been accused of stealing money off the grandma. And they used to shoot 2 episodes per day, Thursday, Friday. Mm-hmm. So I watched 4 episodes being shot. These 2 particular guys, when as they were bringing the lie detection results out, the producer says, oh, what do you think about these 2 lads then? I went, they've not done it. And he went, oh, okay, that'd be interesting. See what the polygraph says. So then, why did you say you didn't do it? We didn't. Yes, you did. You're a pair of filthy liars. Well, these 2 lads went nuts. They started chucking chairs around. Steve, the security guy, comes on. They stopped filming, right? And the producer says, well, how do you account for that? I said, they've not done it, trust me, right? Anyway, fast forward 2 months. I'm back up there again for another meeting. He went, oh, guess what? I went, what? He says, the cousin came forward of them 2 lads. He says, I took it.
Wow.
So the thing that eventually was the nail in the coffin was somebody that was accused of adultery, committed suicide, and it transpired that they were innocent. Wow. So the polygraph is a 120-year-old technology, and it's based on 3 simple things. When you lie, you're going to sweat, your heart's going to race, and your pulse is going to go up. So what they do is we put a thing on your finger like Pararex use to measure your pulse.
Yeah.
Put a band around your chest, and they have a thing called a galvanic skin response, which you put on your palm, and that's to measure skin conductivity, sweat. So I'll interview you as a subject, and we'll have 50, 60 questions, which we agree are truthful. So I'll ask you those questions, and then I will then measure the baseline. So when I introduce the key question is, have you had sexual conduct with that person, or have you stole that property? The theory is that these 3 things will spike, but it doesn't take into account that innocent people also spike, and they call it a false positive.
In the same way that when we're going through security at an airport with nothing on, will spike.
Yeah. So it just rather than looking at 8 or 9 channels of communication, it just looked at 3. So it's not admissible, but certainly in America they hold it. They do use that quite. It's not admissible in courts. But recruitment, like if you're going for the police or the FBI or things like that, they use that as quite an important tool. But it's fallible.
Because I don't know the number, but don't they say like lie detector tests are like 95% successful or accurate or something like that?
Well, the wording was very clever in this particular program because they used to say it's up to 99% accurate. But then I actually worked on the select committee, and it was interesting because when the examiners were challenged. It came out, and one of the people that was asking the question said, so really, it could have been 3% accuracy, couldn't it? And they were like, well, yeah.
What?
So, it's up to 99% accurate.
That's so shit. Defeats the point of the whole thing. It's pointless using it.
So it's frightening, really.
So going back to that sort of case there with the 2 lads accused of stealing, you called it. You said that they didn't do it.
Yeah.
What were the indicators for you that they didn't do it?
Because basically, if someone's innocent, their behaviour is instantaneous. It's not controlled. Like, for example, I have watched several people accused of serious offences. So what the police will tend to... I'll come back to that question. What the police will tend to do if they suspect somebody of being involved in something like a disappearance or a murder, they will say, it'd be really helpful if you could do a press conference for us. Now, yeah, part of that request is to help. However, they'll get someone like me in to sit in the audience and watch how they perform in front of the press conference, because a lot of people have been caught out. My old force area of Derbyshire Police, a guy called Phil Pott.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
The guy who burnt the house down?
Yeah, so that press conference, there was probably about 60, 70 red flags in that short press conference.
Were you there? You were there?
I wasn't there.
Right.
But that's my old force area. So,
right.
Yeah, but he was on Jeremy Kyle the year before, was Britain's worst dad. But in that press conference, I worked on Judge Rinder's crime stories, and that's one of the cases that I was asked to assess. And within that short press conference, there was so many things that just didn't stack up, because innocent people, their behaviour is instantaneous. So, for example, if you said to somebody, if someone said to you, "Be honest, did you cheat on me?" If you're innocent, you just behave you behave appropriately to your character.
Yeah.
If a person was guilty, so if you didn't have any time to think about your own answer, think, shit, I've been caught on the hoof here, people will go, no, of course I didn't cheat. No, I did not cheat on you. They'll mirror the language of the accuser.
Oh.
Right? And also, there's a thing called a contraction. So they'll say, no, I did not cheat on you. Right? They won't use a contraction, which is, no, I didn't cheat on you. So think about Bill Clinton.
I did not have
relations with that woman.
Yeah.
That's distancing language, right? So if he was innocent, so it's not just non-verbal, we now look at something called statement analysis, which is the way that people phrase things. So an innocent person, so if he was in office and he had a bit of a flirt with her and nothing happened, he'd go, do you know what? I worked with her, we had a bit of banter, but basically nothing happened.
Yeah.
I worked with Monica, I worked with Miss Lewinsky.
Yeah.
The fact that he chose to use distancing language, even though he worked with her, was massive red flag, with that woman.
Yeah, he didn't say the name.
So people want to distance themselves from the threat straight away. So that could be in physical distance.
Yeah.
It can be using something like that as a barrier, or indeed with language. So that's one of the things. So again, going back to the detection, whereas you've got 3 channels for polygraph,
mm-hmm.
we're now introducing language. So someone that's really trying to blag the system, you've got eyes, you've got physiology, you've got the blood going to different parts of the body, animation, voice. You literally cannot manage all of that. And there's some famous footage of Ian Huntley, the killer, when he was interviewed by police. There comes a point in the interview when he just literally drops his head, and that's called cognitive overload. Right, because he just literally, he's exhausted. He's mentally exhausted because he just cannot carry on this facade anymore. And that's what tends to happen with people. Once they get to a certain point, they realise that what they're saying is not being bought. They enter this state of cognitive overload.
So when you watch that Huntley footage, would you have to watch it again and again and again to analyse it? Or for you as an expert who lives and breathes this, will you pick up on it straight away? Will you go, there's the red flag? Yeah,
I think because now I've got to a situation where it is unconscious. It's like things that you guys are very good at, that you've been doing for a long time. It's like playing piano. I mean, I've not played for a while, but I'll probably, it's like forget to play for about 10 minutes and then it'll all come back.
Yeah, ride
a bike. So yeah, things will flash. Like I'll see something, I'll go, that's interesting. But then what I'll do is I'll get it, I'll slow it down, I'll zoom in. Like I've been working on a criminal case recently where I've zoomed, and it's not until you zoomed right in and the facial expressions that you saw like a whole different layer that was going on with this person. So if someone says, I'm really happy to talk, if you're a policeman, you say to me, are you happy to talk to me? And without a solicitor down, I'll say, yeah, I'm perfectly happy. But I've just flashed fear at you.
What, that little
micro expression is a fleeting flash of emotion, which we call leakage. Right, and it's an event which shows you my real emotion. So fear is literally
a little twinge on the neck.
Yeah, or what's called a bilateral shoulder shrug. So when people go, whatever, right?
Shrugging.
Yeah, but when people are trying to convey the fact they're not bothered, whatever, do whatever. Right? But if they do a half shoulder shrug, so if you watch that Huntley interview back on Sky News, which was quite a famous little interview, you'll see him go like that, and then also what people tend to do is give too much detail. right? So he's asked about the 2 girls.
Yeah.
But then he goes on some rant about he was washing the dog and they walked off down there. So if I'm meeting you for a drink and I woke up late, rather than going, you know what, Jack? Sorry, mate, I had a bit of a mad one. I woke up late. I'll be there as soon as I can. I mean, I've known it where I've had a meet with somebody and they've said, oh, sorry, mate, I was running late. I had a puncture. Unbeknownst to them, that I've seen them in a lay-by going like that on the tyre because they're just basically either time management's crap or they've woke up late. So rather than saying, I woke up late, they've come in and given this bullshit that they've had to change a tyre. When I've driven by, and that's what happened once. I saw somebody just go like that on the wheel and walk in, and because we're like an hour late. So rather than going, look, I'm really sorry, mate.
How do you not know they were just changing the tyre?
No, they weren't.
He knows. Of course.